has given me everything, and more than all, it has given me immense satisfaction.
There are huge good things which have happened in the last 60 years, but many bad things have happened.
Really, I'm proud of our country, and people from our country have earned a great name in India and elsewhere.
We have taken to the villages by this Panchayat Raj Act only corruption and politics.
Dream of a great country, that my country will become a developed country by 2030.
India should encourage rural liberalization.
Justice K.S. Hegde, the former Lok Sabha Speaker and renowned Supreme Court Judge. A noteworthy lifespan, from a very humble beginning to the most prestigious and honorable stature, from an educated, respected family of village heads, to an unprecedented professional and purposeful life, with a lifelong commitment to uplift the poor and needy. A worthy son of the soil, yes, that is Justice K.S. Hegde. Professional career of Justice K.S. Hegde is complex and unique. Justice K.S. Hegde was chosen to occupy the chair of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha in 1977 in his very first term as a member of the Lok Sabha. Justice Hegde was a Supreme Court judge till 1973. He was a member of the Rajya Sabha in 1952. His eminent judicial background, coupled with legislative experience, enabled him to ensure smooth conduct of the proceedings of the Parliament in a manner that won him appreciations from all sections of the House. True to his conviction, he preserved and sustained the authority of the chair all through his tenure. He began his legal profession in 1933 and worked as government pleader and public prosecutor during the period 1947 to 1951. K.S. Hegde was elected to the Rajya Sabha in 1952. He served the upper house till 1957 and made outstanding contribution to its deliberations. He was a member of the panel of chairmen and also a member of the Public Accounts Committee and of the Rules Committee. In 1954, Hegde was chosen as an alternate delegate to the 9th session of the United Nations General Assembly and served on its second committee with distinction. He was also a member of the Railway Corruption Inquiry Committee and of the governing body of the Indian Council for Agricultural Research. In 1957, Hegde resigned from the Rajya Sabha when he was appointed a judge of the Mysore High Court. As a judge, he earned widespread respect and approbation for his judicial pronouncements. He served on the bench of the Mysore High Court till 1966, when he was appointed as the first Chief Justice of the Delhi and Himachal Pradesh High Court. Justice Hegde had already distinguished himself as a judge and as the Chief Justice of the High Court. He delivered many judgments which was really path-breaking. In 1967, he was appointed as a judge of the Supreme Court, in which capacity he delivered many judgments of far-reaching significance.
First, you should understand what is Net Education Trust. Net Education Trust reflects a village from which my mother has hailed from. A deprived village in the foothills of Western Ghat, craving for education, large number of women, young men lost opportunity of education. So in 1979, Justice K.S. Hegde and some of us believed that time that when God has showered so much of His bounties on us, time to give has come. And we believed that something has to be done in the area of education.
K.S. Hegde had lived and worked in various places, but his roots were always in Karkala and Nitte. Justice Hegde had the rare quality of being able to find comfort levels with people ranging from President of the US to the ordinary men in a village. At Nitte, he would watch cricket match with youngsters, talk about agriculture, participate in local festivals and listen to devotional songs. He mixed himself so very well with the local people that hardly had the air of a former Supreme Court judge and the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The school education, which his wife Meenakshi Hegde was deprived of because of lack of school in Nitte village, was always in his mind. He thought that the people of the village, especially the girls, should have the facility of schooling. That was the inspiration to start a school in the tiny village of Nitte.
First, I would like to tell the satisfaction level what education has given to us. When we started this exercise of offering education to the rural people, huge amount of satisfaction was there because it was only giving. There was nothing to take back from the society. We were believing that we are doing some act which God has given us an opportunity to do, and we thought we do it with diligence, we do it with honesty, and at the end of the day, as we go home, there's huge amount of satisfaction. So with this concept in mind, we started some 8 rural educational centers in Nitte and in and around Nitte. And in this exercise, we more than succeeded because we believed that every child in that area which was earlier deprived, especially the girl child, was given an opportunity to continue education. Subsequently, when these children came to SSLC or thereabout, we believed that should not be the end of the road, that something must happen little further than that. With that in view, the first rate, the PUC and the first rate education was considered. And we started 2 first rate colleges offering BSc, BCom, BBM. Thereafterwards, the Polytechnic had to further proceed. And in the further development program, the engineering college was started in the village of Nitte. This was possibly one of the first engineering colleges which was started in the Karnataka in the private sector. And I also believe this is among the first rural engineering college. There were a lot of skeptics who thought whether an engineering college, whether a professional engineering course could be really started in a very rural area. There were certain things we thought the ambience of a rural area is better meant for higher education. In the urban area, there are too much of distractions. So to me, it is not the most ideal place to start a professional education. That is one reason the Nitte Education Group always has started its educational centers in rural area, be it be Nitte, be it be Derlakatte, which is about 12, 13, 14 kilometers from the heart of Mangalore town. So we thought that this is a good ambience, there are no distraction, and professional college education should reach out to every cross-section of the people. When we started the Nitte Education Trust, we started with a very specific idea that it should be a linguistic educational group. At that point of time, the CET was not there. The concept of minority education or the linguistic minority education was thought about for the simple reason that large number of Tulu-speaking people were deprived of higher education, and we thought we could create a platform wherein the deprived section of this group, which largely represents the OBC group in the Hindu community, could be offered quality education. One of the prime consideration when we started the education system, or the vision and mission of the institution, was to give quality education. The second part of it is to involve the local people in the development of the village as a consequence of the quality education they get. Now time has come for making introspection. Today most of our education institutions are 25 years old, whether it is the schools, whether it is the first grade college, whether it is the dental college, whether it is the medical college, whether it is the 2 engineering colleges which we are currently running, have they fulfilled the mission and vision statement of this education institution state. As I make a introspection of it, we really feel partly we have done. We are given higher education, we are given quality education to the poorer cross-section of people in the rural area. Whether it is the English medium school, whether it is the Kannada medium school, we have been able to give quality education. The Polytechnic and IITs have helped to give hands-on training to large number of children who otherwise would have been deprived of skill required to succeed in profession. So these institutions have helped these students to get quality training, and today they can become productive builders of this nation.
ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ ಎಂದರೇನೆಂದು ನಾನು ಚೇತನಾಸ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಪಾರ್ಲರಿಗೆ ಭೇಟಿ ನೀಡಿದ ದಿನವೇ ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಂಡೆ.
ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಥೆರಪಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅನುಭವವಿರುವ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಗಳಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೊಪ್ಪುವ ಸೇವೆ.
Spa pedicure, spa manicure, spa hair treatment, different types of hair setting and sari draping, professional makeup and model makeup, advanced haircut and face treatment.
Chetana's Beauty Studio, first floor, Hariprasad Complex, Yayadi, Mangalore.
Thanks to Chetana's, now it's your turn.
ಯುನಿಟಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿಪಿ ಹಬೀಬ್ ರೆಹಮಾನ್ ಅವರ ಮುಖ್ಯಸ್ಥಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಅಗ್ರ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಾಗಿದ್ದು, ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ಗೆ 1055707ಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಶೀಘ್ರ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. ಯುನಿಟಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಆನ್ ISO 9001-2000 ಸರ್ಟಿಫೈಡ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್, ಫಳ್ನಿ ರೋಡ್, ಮ್ಯಾಂಗಲೋರ್.
The question what motivated us to start the NIT Education Trust is a very important aspect in regard to the growth of NIT Education Trust. When Justice K.S. Hegde came to NIT village in 1979-80, he cajoled us to start the primary and higher primary education. And he also told us that the important factor which makes us to get involved in this nation building process is the fact that his wife, who is our mother, was deprived of primary education because there was no school or no high school in the village of Nitti.
Kaudur Sadanand Hegde was born on 16th June 1909 at Kaudur village of Karkala Taluk in South Kannada district of the Karnataka state. He was the youngest of the 6 children of Sri Kaudur Nayarbettu Subbaya Hegde and Srimati Irmadi Lingamma Shetty. Subbaya Hegde's advices were sought by the local people of all religions and communities in all spheres of their socio-economic life, including settlement of family disputes and partition of properties. He was known for making very amicable settlements of all disputes brought to him. Young Sadanand was brought up in that environment. It was a culture of caring and sharing by considering all the villages as a part of the family. He was educated at the Kaudur Elementary School and the Karkala Board High School. Subsequently, he was an alumnus of St. Aloysius College, Mangalore, the Presidency College, Madras, and the Government Law College, Madras.
Nitte Education Trust and Nitte Village are synonymous. For the simple reason, our escapade in educational field is the motivation we got from the Nitte Village. Nitte Village is a very rural area in the foothills of Western Ghat, where a huge amount of people were deprived of basic education. In 1979, when my father decided to come back to the Nitte village and settle, he motivated us that we should do something in the area of education so that we could give at least higher primary education to the children. All of us thought education is the birthright of every child. At least up to 10th standard, every child must have an opportunity to get good quality education. With that concept in mind, the Nitte Education Trust started a school. They started the birth of Nitte Education Trust. Nitte Education Trust in the first few years of its life restricted itself in running schools, running a polytechnic, and running an ITI. This was largely because we believed these are the basic things, because more than 90% of the Indian population are deprived of this level of education, and we thought every successful person, every human being has a contribution to make in this area, and we were simply fulfilling that obligation we owe to the nation.
With this, at his active retirement life, Justice Hegde was writing the story of an educating Nitte village. He made a generation to focus on the welfare of Nitte. What Justice Hegde had initiated had flourished to a magnitude sufficiently to justify the power of his vision. Nitte Education Trust is well placed among the top education centers in the country.
In the year 1982-83, we thought that education cannot be restricted to primary and higher primary education, and time has come that the rural people must also have the privilege of having higher education. With this in mind, in 1985-86, we started an engineering college in Nitte, and we also started a dental college in the outskirts of Mangalore. These two education institutions are very special institutions as far as I am concerned, because they are among the first colleges in the private sector in Karnataka which came purely on the private sector without any financial aid from the government. At that point of time, there were a large number of doubting Toms. They believed whether a professional education institution could succeed in a very rural area like Nitte village. I think time has proved that village and urban division doesn't make any difference in offering of quality education. Quality education is a commitment. The vision and the mission of Nitte Education Trust is to ensure that good quality education without differentiation of caste, religion, gender should be offered to every people. And as I make an introspection of this after 25 years, I believe that we largely have achieved this objective. How do I say that these objectives have been achieved? The simple reason that large part of the Nitte medical and paramedical courses today have become part of an university. Among the 46 universities which still continue, Nitte University is one of them. So it's a matter of great satisfaction to us that we are possibly giving good quality education, though long distance have still to be traveled to reach the level of excellence which we believe we should reach.
ಸೌಂದರ್ಯ ಎಂದರೇನೆಂದು ನಾನು ಚೇತನಾಸ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಪಾರ್ಲರಿಗೆ ಭೇಟಿ ನೀಡಿದ ದಿನವೇ ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಂಡೆ.
ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಥೆರಪಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅನುಭವವಿರುವ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಗಳಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೊಪ್ಪುವ ಸೇವೆ.
Spa pedicure, spa manicure, spa hair treatment, different types of hair setting and sari draping, professional makeup and model makeup, advanced haircut and face treatment.
Chetana's Beauty Studio, first floor, Hariprasad Complex, Yayadi, Mangalore.
Thanks to Chetana's. Now it's your turn.
ಯುನಿಟಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿಪಿ ಹಬೀಬ್ ರೆಹಮಾನ್ ಅವರ ಮುಖ್ಯಸ್ಥಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಅಗ್ರ ಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಾಗಿದ್ದು, ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ಗೆ 1055707ಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಶೀಘ್ರ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. ಯುನಿಟಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಆನ್ ISO 9001-2000 ಸರ್ಟಿಫೈಡ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್, ಫಳ್ನಿ ರೋಡ್, ಮ್ಯಾಂಗಲೋರ್.
Education cannot be separated from the social life of people. Any education what we offer to people must have some benefit to the people living in and around. So it is time that we have to make after 25 years, must make an introspection. What is the contribution of NIT Education Trust as far as the Dakshina Kannada rural areas are concerned, or in general the people of South Canara? Today, NIT Education Trust has more than 60% of the students who are women. So the gender bias in this country, that women are deprived of education, partly has been addressed by this educational trust. Almost 34% of the students who join the NIT Education Trust are from the OBC and have a rural background. So this is another area, because people believe higher education is the prerogative of the urban and rich people. I think that myth has also been addressed by this education institution. Education and the scientific development also should reach the common people. We have certain programs where we use the assets and the knowledge of the educational group which benefits the rural people. We have a program for the school dropouts where we give them good training and certificate so that they can become useful citizens to the country. As far as women are concerned, we have programs wherein we assure them some programs like tailoring and similar programs where they can make a good living for themselves. Another part of which is the asset of any education institution is a public property, and the benefit of that should reach out to the people. So with this in mind, we have also taken programs of upgrading the rural schools, offering them teachers. Almost 30 teachers are today working in various schools where the teaching quality is not good, and their expenditure is met by the trust.
His concern about medical facilities in villages made NIT Education Trust to think of starting various satellite hospitals in various remote places, offering free dental and medical facilities to the poor and needy. Proper education and healthcare facilities in villages, along with equality in society, always develop peace and harmony in the nation.
We have a unique program in which the buses which are used for transporting the professional college students are used by the trust for commuting more than 1,200 students in and around Mangalore and Nitte free of cost, so that the education of these children are not disrupted, and assuring that the school dropouts are avoided. So these are some of the programs which are unique. But to me, the most important program which I feel, which gives the greatest satisfaction to NIT Education Trust, is the 18 satellite hospitals which we are running in the very rural area, because we are part of a very large medical educational group. These satellite centers are offering free medical care for more than 100,000 people annually, both in the area of dentistry and in the area of medicine. The 750-bedded hospital, which is a training center for the medical college, today is offering free, 35% of the people are offered free medical treatment. So these are some of the benefit the education has given to the local people. And I, for one, I believe in education which is in isolation of the aspiration of the common people naturally will bring a discord between the educated and the uneducated. Until the educated to learn, live with the uneducated and being useful to the society, there is no meaning for quality education. One of the area which it greatly impresses me in the area of education is the continuous development. And in the development, we are also participating in the area of research, in the area of being compatible with the social aspiration of the people. Whether it is engineering, whether it is medical, the division between the medical and the engineering is vanishing. It is becoming one group. Today we are living in a world where medicine cannot live without the support of the engineering, and the engineering cannot live without the support of the medicine. There so has to be a joining between these two divergent educational group. And NIT Education Trust is making a huge effort to bring a synergy between the medical education and the engineering education and the management education. So I for one, I believe, as I look in the 25 years of NIT Education Trust, schools have developed well. The importance which has to be given for English has been given. The children, the rural children, are as intelligent as the urban children, and the opportunity for rural children to continue professional career has opened up. But there is one sad part which education has brought about: the disconnect between the family in the process of education. Education has brought prosperity, but with that they have got disconnect with the family. I see large number of educated young men after their education disbanding their parents, which is a sad part of education, because once you get education you become a self-centered person and you believe you don't owe anything to the community and even to your parents, and this huge sacrifice the parents make for the education of a child is so easily forgotten. I think this is where the moral and ethic question comes, and I for one, I believe unless the education system address this problem in totality, I for one, I believe a good quality education cannot be offered to the children. Another area which hurts me is the disconnect education has with sports. When some of us had our education, sports and education were an integral part of each other. But unfortunately today, with the semester system, with the importance for internal assessment, the opportunity for the child to have good participation in sports is completely lost. Most of the education institution, possibly some of the education institutions with which I am involved don't have contemporary sports facilities, and that is seen in the performance of the Indian nation in the area of sports. Except leaving cricket, in all other areas India has lost out. This, I believe, is because of the changing educational scenario in this country. Time has come that all of us who believe, who are part of the educational growth of this country, must make an introspection. There has to be serious discussions so that in the next 50 years, which direction education is going to go, where equity is assured, education is offered without gender differentiation, without differentiation between the rich and poor, without differentiation between the rural and urban. It should be purely merit-based, and once education becomes merit-based and the people who get the benefit of education based on the sacrifice of others, they owe something back to the nation. This concept must be understood by all children who take benefit of the higher education.
Justice K.S. Hegde was known for his uprightness and authority and as a learned judge. He was a man of matchless honesty and utmost integrity. He was convinced that a social order giving justice to all the citizens could not be built up by a corrupt society. And no amount of sacrifice could build a welfare state unless there was an efficient and honest administration. It was on 25th April 1973. The then Prime Minister, Srimati Indira Gandhi, superseded 3 senior Supreme Court judges, J.M. Shelat, K.S. Hegde and A.N. Grover, and appointed A.N. Ray the Chief Justice of India. It was a manifest attempt to undermine the court's independence. On 30th April 1973, Justice K.S. Hegde tendered his resignation, uncompromising and critical of interference of the executive in the affairs of the judiciary. Thereafter, Hegde once again started taking active part in socio-political movements. In 1977, he was elected to the 6th Lok Sabha from the Bangalore South constituency on the Janata Party ticket. On 21st July 1977, Hegde was elected to the office of the Speaker following the resignation of Dr. Neelam Sanjeev Reddy to contest the election to the office of the President of India. Speaker Hegde believed in the rule of law and fair play. Maintaining the supremacy of Parliament was uppermost in his mind. It was his constant endeavour to give opportunities to all members to participate in the proceedings of the House. He was convinced that the effectiveness of the House could be improved only when members maintained decorum and discipline. Hegde strongly felt the need for a continuous review of procedures and practices so that they were in tune with the emerging needs. Hegde had given many important rulings as Speaker.
It is better to know the truth rather than live in a world where we think everything is all right. The independence and the democracy has brought prosperity to this country. Let me hasten to correct one thing. We have not grown in the last 60 years of democracy or 63 years of independence. This country has grown. For various reasons, it has grown. The question is, by whose contribution it has grown? Is it private participation, or is it governmental work that has lifted this country from what it was earlier? Again, where has it, in which field has it grown? Has the growth has any improving or beneficial effect on the rural India? I don't think it has any effect. Whatever growth that we have achieved is from the urban area. Of course, from a third world country, we have today come to a developed country stage. We can sit across the table with the most powerful countries in the world like United States, UK, Russia, etc. But that dialogue, that talk, does it have any effect on the rural India? where more than 60-65% of the population of India are living. There's so much of migration from rural area to urban area. The cities are becoming slums and villages are becoming unlivable.
Political corruption and political arrogance are at the focal point of discussion in India right now. These days, we often see its result appearing in the headlines of Indian newspapers and TV channels. We see many bridges and roads constructed on records with no such facilities provided to the people in reality. There are plenty of such cases seen in rural India. The rural India that was ignored over decades are now exposed to be the most undeveloped and underprivileged societies in the world. Corruption has reached the heights of almost 100% in Indian politics. We rarely see an honest politician in Indian democratic setup. Corruption has grabbed our economy from top to bottom. The most painful matter is the flow of money. Out from the economy of our nation, huge amounts of corruption in the budgets every year are diverted as Swiss bank accounts. The top brass in the country are busy in building their empire elsewhere. The general public is confused and has no idea about who is corrupt and who is not corrupt. Very often we see the non-corrupt get punished for various charges like disobedience and so on. Some of the good officials get trapped into the nets of corruption mafia. General public never bother to appreciate good works done by the honest and efficient in the polity, and eventually the good turns to be the worst. When many of us are helpless and silent against the arrogance of political corruption, the nation witnesses the rays of hope with the courage shown by very powerful and truthful personalities like Justice Santosh Hegde. It is such handful of people who keeps the light of democracy alive. Dignity and integrity are inborn qualities in human life. It comes from an inbuilt value system. Even the corrupt bows towards the dignified.
For me, another thing which saddens is the way the most progressive rural development programs are implemented. Rajiv Gandhi in 1985-86 said less than 25 paisa of a rupee reaches the person to whom it is supposed to reach. If you ask me honestly this question, I feel it is restricted to a few families. Time has come that the entire cross-section of tribals and the SC/ST must be involved. The so-called Naxal problem today faced by the country is largely due to the unequal distribution of wealth and being unfair to this segment of people. If you are offering this facility to a selected cross-section of people and deprive this to the major part of the community, I think that would be a very sad day. Another factor which is greatly hurting me is the division which is happening on the basis of religion. This was something unheard in the annals of the Indian history. This country has lived as one unitary state. Here is a time when we are living at an age when intolerance is the main factor. Time the country looks into this factor and brings amity among the different religious thinking. Religion, I am a very religious person, but religion is a belief of individuals and it's not the belief of the country. When you talk about secularism, the dictionary meaning says is being not believing religion in the state affairs, and which is a very correct concept. But on personal life, all of us can have our religious belief. But religious belief should not override personal relationship. I believe people understand the so-called religious leaders should not make religion as a profession. And I sometimes, when I look at these people converting religion into a profession, then our heart bleeds. So there are huge good things which have happened in the last 60 years, but many bad things have happened. Time has come to consolidate the good things this country has achieved, and time has come to make an introspection of the shortcomings, whether it is in the political system, whether it's in the social system, whether it's in the religious belief. A introspection has to be done so that this country can grow the way it should grow, because we are a very special nation.